Hi, I'm Kresta. When I was growing up in New Haven, Connecticut, Christopher Columbus was celebrated as a great navigator, explorer, and Italian. The Knights of Columbus had succeeded in getting Congress to recognize Columbus Day as a federal holiday back in 1937. In 1943, the eminent Harvard historian Samuel Elliot Morrison received the Pulitzer Prize for his biography of Columbus, Admiral of the Ocean Seas. But in spite of the Knights of Columbus support and Morrison's biography, I didn't know Columbus was a Catholic hero. Fast forward to 1992, in America's celebration of the 500th anniversary of Columbus's first voyage. The hero of the seas, Columbus, was being turned into a genocidal villain who brought disease, greed, and imperialistic ambitions to the so-called New World. New, of course, to Columbus and the Europeans, but very well known and lived in by the indigenous people of the Americas. Now, I appreciate historical writing that shows warts and all, whether it deals with our cultural heroes or even our saints, who were just as sinful and malformed at one time as many of us are right now. The Hebrew historians were the ones who first gave us warts in all kinds of history. Think of how they treated David, Saul, Solomon, even Moses. But the left-wing academics and the multicultural activists judged Columbus harshly by 20th century standards rather than seeing him as a pioneer in his own day. These activists, more than the historians, focused on his shortcomings and suppressed his virtues. But one other major change occurred in historical studies in the run-up to the 500th anniversary. Delno West and August Kling prepared the first definitive study and translation into English of Columbus's Book of Prophecies. They were joined by K. Brigham, who offered some reflections on his life and discovery in light of the prophecies. His Book of Prophecies was fundamentally an intensive study of the biblical prophets with an eye to Christ's return, and they reveal a Columbus whose very identity was that of a faithful Catholic who prayed the Liturgy of the Hours and is reputed by some to have been a lay Franciscan. Finally, Columbus's deep Catholic faith was entering the popular mind. For years, the secular press and the academy saw Columbus's religious motivations as mere rationalizations to justify raising money for his real ambition of exploring a new trade route to the Far East. Well, like so many, they thought he was prostituting authentic religion to just get what he wanted. We now know this is fundamentally false. His motivations were explicitly Catholic. Columbus, named Christopher, or Christ-bearer as the name was commonly known, believed that he was born in the providence of God to launch a crusade to conquer Jerusalem in order to prepare for the second coming of Christ before the end of the age. The quest for the fabled gold? It was a means to the end of his grand missionary enterprise. At this time, I have seen and put in study to look at all the scriptures which the Lord has opened to my understanding. I could sense his hand upon me, so that it became clear to me that it is feasible to navigate from here to the Indies, and he gave me the will to execute the idea. I've already said that for the execution of the enterprise of the Indies, neither reason nor mathematics nor world maps were profitable to me. Rather, the prophecy of Isaiah was completely fulfilled. And this is what I wish to report here for the consideration of your highnesses. So this is a man with extraordinary faith in God who knew that his mathematics and world maps would profit him little in the unknown regions. He had to trust God, and he believed that God was telling him to go beyond where any other man had gone before. There were no maps. Over the years, I've had the privilege to talk with scholars and historians and experts on biblical prophecy like K. Brigham and Carol Delaney, a cultural anthropologist who wrote Columbus and the Quest for Jerusalem, how religion drove the voyages that led to America. In honor of an extraordinary man and an extraordinary Catholic, Ave Maria Radio's new media division has released a series of short videos with special guest Carol Delaney. Enjoy.